Good morning, this is Francesca Evans from LymeOnline, bringing you up to date with all of this week's top stories from the Lyme Regis area. Dorset Council says that it has been working with local voluntary organisations this week to ensure that no local children go hungry during the half-term break. Following the government's recent decision not to extend free school meal vouchers through the school holidays, the council has been working to ensure those who usually rely on the provision still get the help they need. It has been working with local volunteers, food banks and community groups throughout the COVID pandemic to ensure a network of support is in place for vulnerable people. Any family struggling at this time can either contact Dorset Council or Citizens Advice on the numbers shown on screen now. Among those to vote against Labour's motion to extend the free school meals programme was West Dorset Conservative MP Chris Loader. This week he responded to accusations that he wants children in West Dorset to starve by saying nothing could be further from the truth. He said the government was supporting families through the COVID Summer Food Fund and had provided £1.3 million to Dorset Council earlier this month to help vulnerable families. You can read Mr Loader's full statement on his website shown on screen now. In the meantime, restaurants up and down the country have been coming together to support professional footballer Marcus Rashford's End Child Food Poverty campaign. Locally, Swim in Lyme Regis and Rise in West Bay have been raising funds for the charity Fair Share South West, and Indian restaurant Safar in Axminster has been offering free meals for children in need. Lyme Regis Town Council has continued to make financial preparations in case of a second lockdown in spring or summer next year, which Town Clerk John Wright has warned could wipe out the authorities' reserves. The coronavirus pandemic has cost the council an estimated £350,000 in lost revenue, and this, combined with a major roof resurfacing project on Marine Parade, has depleted the council's reserves by £1 million. The Town Council has looked into the possibility of taking a loan from Dorset Council if needed, but this request has been rejected and they have now turned to the Public Works Loan Board for possible financial assistance. But veteran councillor Stan Williams has argued that a loan is not necessary as the council has more money than it needs lying around. In particular, he said the council is owed money from leases in the Monmouth Beach area. Councillors are expected to make a final decision on how to strengthen the authority's financial position next month. Questions have been raised over the quality of the major roof resurfacing project on Lyme Regis seafront, which has cost the Town Council £650,000 amid the coronavirus pandemic. The resurfacing work was carried out to prevent water leaking into properties below, currently leased by the restaurant Swim, the Antiques and Craft Centre and the Amusement Arcade. But concerns have been raised that water has been pooling on the roof during the recent wet weather. One of the new glass fencing panels on the edge of the wall has also been smashed, with some glass falling onto a couple and their toddler on the Marine Parade below. Fortunately, no one was injured in the incident. Town Clerk John Wright has assured that the correct strengthened glass has been used for the fencing and this type of incident was unlikely to happen again. He also said that some pooling of water was inevitable as the roof covered such a large flat area. The Woodruff School in Lyme Regis has reported on a positive first half term following the national coronavirus lockdown. Having returned in September after 5 months off for most pupils, the Woodruff students are said to have demonstrated their resilience and desire to consistently be in school, despite the ongoing national concerns about student well-being and anxiety. Nationally, school attendance at secondary level has remained at 88%, but Woodruff has consistently remained well above 94% for the whole of the half term. Its highest daily attendance figure reached a staggering 99%. Head teacher Dan Watts said it had been great to see the school alive again, and he thanked staff, parents and carers for their support. During their first half term, students took part in the Wear Red campaign, swapping their usual navy blazers for red clothing to show racism the red card. They also engaged in activities in support of Black History Month. Before they return to school, youngsters will be looking forward to celebrating Halloween this weekend, but with social distancing guidelines putting a stop to traditional trick-or-treating and Halloween parties, many are coming up with new ways to celebrate the season. Lyme Regis traders have pulled out all the stops, with more than 40 businesses taking part in a safe, family-friendly pumpkin trail around the town. Trail maps are available to download from the LymeOnline website, and children in fancy dress will be able to collect a bag of sweets from Fine Art and Framing in Broad Street on Saturday. And now for sport. There was a big crowd at the Davy Fort last Saturday, anxious to see Lyme Regis Football Club's senior squad's first home fixture for many months, due to a long period of bad weather and the COVID-19 lockdown. And the Seasiders rose to the occasion by putting on a sparkling display of fast-flowing football with a 9-0 demolition of Dawlish United, who were sitting in second place in the Devon and Exeter League Premier East Division. It was one of Lyme's best all-round performances for some time, with ace striker Joe Bond hitting 4 goals, Fred Parsons and Brad Rowe both grabbing a brace, and joint manager Mark Bailey coming on as a substitute late in the game, also getting on the score sheet with his second touch of the ball. Bond's goal haul included his 25th hat-trick for the Seasiders, which sees him joining the list of all-time top Lyme strikers, led by the likes of Ellis Hall, Graham Veer and Stuart Rattenbury. The Seasiders will be hoping to maintain that level of performance when they travel to neighbours Seaton Town tomorrow. Lyme reserves travelled to Division 1 East opponents Exmouth Rovers last Saturday, determined to avenge the previous week's 1-0 defeat by the league leaders. But they conceded another early goal and were virtually reduced to 9 men through injuries. Keeper Rob Harp had to come out of goal and finished the game limping up front, and Steve Beattie dislocated a shoulder after both substitutes were used. The reserves ended up losing the game 2-0, but once again showed great commitment. Tomorrow they're at home to Otterton with a 3 p.m. kick-off. Lyme Rovers' good start to the season was brought down with a bump when they were beaten 7-1 by Perry Street in Division 1. Tomorrow they travel to mid-tablers Barrington, which will be another stern test for them. Up Lyme first team did not have a league game last weekend, but the reserves did well with their second victory of the season in a 9-goal thriller against Kingsbury Episcopi. Tomorrow, Up Lyme firsts are away to Wincham United, while the reserves are at home to Chard Rangers reserves. And finally, congratulations to Lyme Regis resident Joan Cool, who recently celebrated her 101st birthday. The former RAF nurse served during the Second World War and was among those to march past the King in the First Battle of Britain parade in 1943. She has 2 children, 5 grandchildren and 5 great-grandchildren, but Joan doesn't let her age get in the way of keeping up with modern technology, and she's become known as a bit of a Facebook whiz around Lyme in recent years. She celebrated her 101st birthday last week at Fairfield House with her son and daughter-in-law. Congratulations, Joan. Thanks for watching LymeOnline's video news bulletins. Don't forget you can catch up with all the latest local news throughout the week on the LymeOnline website. Happy Halloween and have a great weekend.